the one good thing that Barack Obama did do is healthcare. He brought healthcare up to where, close to where it should be. He got some legislation passed for the Affordable Care Act, and that was long overdue. And I know that Hillary tried really hard and couldn't do it. So I thought the fact that Barack Obama got anything done as a black president was super duper good. I thought, wow, good stuff. This is a good guy. And I guess most of the country felt the same way, because 78% of us voted for him. So what was happening was the NSA was breaking into my house on a regular basis. So when I left in the RV, I got a divorce in 2002. Yeah, 2002. 2001, I figured a way to get a divorce without getting killed and without getting my children killed. And then in 2002, I don't know. In 2003, I sold the house and moved to Maryland, and managed to not get anybody killed. And then I went on the road and had to leave my daughters, and I know that they were being tortured and told to hate me, which was what happened to them all their lives. And but I could counteract that just by being with them. You know, there would be some storm that would come up, and then a lot of screaming, and then I would calm them down and say, no, that's not what happened. But so without me around, I wasn't able to calm them back down, and it's been 10 years now. So whatever gets put, see, when they torture my daughters, they will always say, your mother hates you, your mother doesn't want you, and all kinds of horrible things. Like one time I was being tortured along with Liberty, and I put that in the book, The Truth About Lynn Mickelson. It was Rita Denman's birthday, and Rita and Peter were thick as thieves. He really should have married Rita. He loved me, though I don't know, he wasn't able to show it because Rita wouldn't allow him to act as though he had any feelings at all. And they're both dead now. On the last time I talked to Barack Obama, every time the NSA would break into my house in the middle of the night, there'd be this guy whose name I call Arizona, because I met him in Arizona. I actually met him in New Mexico, and real close to Arizona though. And then I met him again in Arizona, up near Flagstaff, and I guess a few more times than that. And he liked me. When I won't even tell you the rest of it, but he liked me, and so he would always volunteer to be the one who broke into my house, because he didn't want anything bad to happen to me. The one time, now Barack Obama had another microchip put in my bowel. Excuse me, my eye. Something's wrong with my eye. And he had them use a cattle, not a cattle prod, an elephant prod. There's so much electricity in those things, I really should have died. But what he had them do was press it against my spine and set it off. And so your spine reacts like, only like your whole body just convulses. I can't even describe it because it's nothing. It's like you're in fast motion, and your spine is like a snake that just goes every which way. And so of course that broke my back, and that was just a year, oh, probably 2 years ago now. Anyway, and he knew what he was doing. He knew he was breaking my back. He had no right. I mean, the thing is, I don't do anything wrong. I don't do anything wrong. The only thing they think it's wrong that I made up the word anti-war. You know, and I'm still being punished for that. And what I didn't realize, and a lot of adults warned me when I made up that word, that it was anti-American to be anti-war. So war is built into our economy and into our politics, and I don't think it should be. And in order to exist that way, the United States has to do things illegally. The military has to behave illegally, and I would like them to stop it. And so I'm the subversive one, rather than they are the subversive ones for doing things illegally. They should just they can do whatever they want as long as it's legal, you know? But they don't. They do whatever they want, and period. And in fact, they seem to like doing things illegally better than doing things by the book. And we're finding more and more countries, like Israel, whose economy depends on war. So that's why Israel is always at war. That is built into their political system, war. So when I used to be in on peace talks, you know, I'd have to cover my head and I'd have to sit behind the men, but I would be there, and then I would have to tell whatever president was there what I thought, and then the president or a man would have to tell that government what they thought, you know, like it had to turn into a man's thought. And everybody knew that it was mine, you know, but it's this whole thing that women are inferior and they can't do things that men do, and it's just bullshit, and that's got to stop too. So the whole thing is that the reason why I keep staying alive is because of world peace, and it's slipping away, folks. It's just almost gone. It's almost gone. I really don't even see it anymore. I don't see it. So you know, and God gave me this this job because everybody else had been killed, and the people who hadn't been killed decided it was too much work and they weren't going to do it. Because everybody seems to really enjoy their white picket fence and their 9-to-5 job, and growing old on medication and dying, and that's really what they want. And so you ask them to work on world peace, they're going to say, and you can say no to God. And I'm the only idiot who didn't. So I'm kind of stuck with the job because I'm still alive, and there's really nothing else. At this point, there's really nothing else I can actually do. So, I'm it, guys. You know, once I'm gone, there's 1,000 more years of war. I told that to Barack Obama, and he said he hopes so. He wants there to be war all the time. Now, back to General Crazy Pants and Barack Obama. The guy who I call John Alexander was a 3-star general, I believe, and had a hand in killing both the Kennedys. And at the very last, he told me that he had the soul of Lucifer in him. So he didn't realize how that could happen. I explained how that could happen, but you know, it's a reincarnation is how that could happen. I mean, if it's true, if he really was Lucifer, every time he would go into a body that died, he would have to find a new body and go into that body. Which sounds crazy, but that's what he thought, and that's what he told me, and so just have to assume that he might have been right. So he went back to heaven this time. He said that for the last 300 years he'd been wanting to go back to heaven, but he didn't want to go back unannounced, or he wanted someone who could talk to God and double check that it was okay. So I talked to God and double checked that it was okay for Lucifer to go back to heaven. But God just was smiling the whole time, because he's like, you know, it was all right. You could have come back right away. And John was saying, oh, I don't know. I didn't know. And God just kept smiling like, you knew, you know. But it was a weird conversation. So Lucifer went back to heaven, and yet people still want the devil to win. Now, so when Barack Obama said he wanted a world war like no other, where everybody was using nuclear weapons, and that's why he made that Iran deal, and that's why he, I don't know, a few other things that he made sure that people had nuclear weapons, because he wanted them to start to use them on each other. Now, I've heard that before, and I think it's sick, and that's what Barack wants, and that's why during the primaries, when Hillary was running against him, there was redistricting that went on. It's called gerrymandering or something. Anyway, so it gave Barack more delegates than Hillary. And Barack knew it. Like, he had already gotten in bed and real cozy with the devil. And he knew it. He knew it. He said that there was this, I don't know if you remember this, but there was Oprah Winfrey had a TV show, and she endorsed Barack Obama. And he said you could tell the whole audience was really shocked when he came out, because she had scheduled Hillary Clinton. She was going to endorse Hillary Clinton, but the powers that owned Barack now, the same people who owned me, and they what they do is they'll torture you and send electricity through your body and tell you what to do, and do it over and over. And for something like that, they probably did it 3 hours a night for maybe 3 nights, I would think. And then they got Oprah to believe that she thought that she was going to endorse Barack Obama. And so by the end of the torture sessions, she didn't probably think anything of it. Oh no, I wasn't going to endorse Hillary. I was going to endorse Barack. But that's not true. But you know, you get to that kind of a level, and you're surrounded by yes men, and they're not going to say, listen, something's really, really wrong with you, because that's not what you were going to do. And if they did, that person could easily be eliminated. How's that? No, that's no better. So they got Oprah to endorse Barack instead of Hillary. It blindsided me too. I thought for sure. You know, she had been talking and talking and talking about having a woman president, and she was real excited about it. I was too. You know, because women are much more thoughtful, and they are less dangerous, and they don't like fighting, and they don't like killing. You know, we're the ones who make the babies, so we have a higher stake in the lives of the people around us, because we made them. And so we're not going to be ridiculous like the men do. You know, just power. Men want the power, and they want the money, and they'll do horrible things for it, really horrible things. So that's how Barack got won the primary. And I know that Hillary felt. See, I didn't talk to Hillary. The last time I talked to Hillary was when Bill was in trouble over the Monica Lewinsky debacle, which was all set up. It was all set up because he, again, the war. They wanted war, and he didn't want war, and so they set him up. They hired this intern who had been fired from her 2 previous jobs for soliciting or coming on to her boss. You know, she'd been fired twice for sexual harassment, I guess it would be. It was, and so they assumed she would try it again with him, and they assumed that he would go for it, and then they would be able to get him to say on record that he didn't have sex with her, and that then they could impeach him. And that's when I met them. So I helped him come up with, it depends on what it was only like 2 sentences that he said under oath that was a lie. So, and that's what they were going to get him on. But, so I read that, and I said, well, you know, it depends on what the word is. And we went from there, you know, because it was just a little tweak that if you said, and there was a meaning of is that worked well for it. It was only like I'm going to say 10 words altogether that they were going to impeach him. I thought that's ridiculous, because I thought he was a good president, and I thought, how can you take a whole country, a president, away from a whole country who voted for him because he's a, you know, a philanderer, and everybody knows, and if you don't, you should. Everybody knows that all of the presidents, except for Carter and possibly Ford, and I'm not sure, but I'm going to say all of the presidents all had mistresses, all of them. You know, Kennedy did. It just goes with the territory. It's part of the game. The only one possibly who didn't might have been George Washington, but I have a feeling he was gay. I don't know. He was married to a crazy person. Anyhow, where did we go? We went all over the place. So I had been advising people on the presidency for quite a while. And I knew that it was a dirty job. And I know that, you know, what they have to jump through hoops for. And you just, I don't know.